Okay, let's just dive right in. Exam season is coming up, and if you're anything like me, you're probably feeling that pressure build. You want the grade, but man, the stress can be a lot. Well, good news, I'm going to break down a simple, practical, no BS guide on how to absolutely ace your exams. And do it with ease. Seriously, it's not as hard as you think.
So what does that even mean? It means it's time for a total mindset shift. It's not about how many hours you grind away in the library, it's about studying smart. It's time to become an academic weapon.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out why your current study habits just aren't cutting it. Then we'll get into the actual science of learning. After that, I'll give you the academic weapon system, a step-by-step blueprint. We'll even cover some advanced ways to level up, and finally, we'll go over the exam day playbook.
We've all been there, right? You study for 5–10 hours straight. You tell everyone you have to lock in. But then you get into the exam. You look at the first question and blank. You panic. See, the problem isn't how hard you're working. It's how you're working. There are people out there studying way less than you and getting better grades. Why? Because the way most of us are taught to study is just fundamentally wrong.
Okay, let's break down the 3 biggest mistakes pretty much everyone makes. First, you're just consuming way too much information without actually digesting it. Second, you're trying to memorize every single tiny detail, which is literally impossible. And third, the classic all-nighter, cramming everything in at the very last second. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so.
This right here is one of the most important ideas, consumption versus digestion. Consumption is all the passive stuff, reading the textbook, watching a lecture. Digestion is active. It's actually doing practice problems, answering questions, or trying to teach the concepts to someone else. You have to prioritize digestion. Otherwise, all those hours you spent just reading were kind of pointless.
Okay, so if the old way is so wrong, what's the right way? Well, this is where we get into the science of it all. Let's take a look at the learning pyramid. This thing shows us, based on actual research, the most effective ways to make information stick in your brain.
And this chart really says it all. I mean, look at this. The difference is insane. Passive learning, just reading or listening, you only retain about 10%. 10! But active methods, like doing practice questions, that jumps all the way to 75%. And look at the top. Teaching others, a whopping 90% retention rate. This tells us exactly where we need to focus all of our energy.
All right, knowing the science is one thing, but putting it into practice is the real key. So here it is, the system. This is the clear blueprint that's going to take you from feeling stressed and all over the place to feeling focused, confident, and totally in control.
First things first, you have to get organized. Just open up a document and make 3 simple lists. 1. List out all your resources. Notes, practice exams, old quizzes, everything. 2. List out every single topic that's going to be on the exam. If you don't know, just ask your teacher. And 3. Make a simple study schedule. That's it. Just doing this will make you feel 1,000 times better.
Okay, once you're organized, it's time to execute. This is the engine of the whole system. We're going to use 2 incredibly powerful techniques. Active recall, which is all about pulling information out of your brain, and spaced repetition, which is about reviewing that information at the perfect time.
So, how do you actually do active recall? Simple. You grind practice questions. That's the secret. Redo all your old homework. Go online and find more practice tests. And here's a pro tip. If you ever guess on a question and get it right, assume you got it wrong. Go back and figure out the why behind the answer. That's where the real learning happens.
So how do you know when you're finally ready for the exam? It's this feeling right here. It's when you can look at any question and you just instantly recognize the pattern. You've done it so many times. There's no hesitation. It just becomes light work. That's the goal.
Now, to make that active recall even stickier, you need to add spaced repetition. All this means is you test yourself on the material over increasing periods of time. So maybe you do a practice test on Monday, then again on Wednesday, and then again on Saturday. It's like building muscle memory for your brain, locking that information into long-term storage.
Okay, so you've got the core system down. You're already way ahead of the curve. But if you really want to level up and achieve total mastery, here are a couple of advanced techniques you can use.
Remember that learning pyramid? Teaching others was at the very top. So if you can, find a friend to explain the concepts too. It's an incredible way to solidify what you know. But if you study alone, no worries. There's an amazing alternative called the blurting method, and even a pretty cool ChatGPT hack you can try.
The blurting method is awesome. You just take a blank sheet of paper, write a topic at the top, and then you just blurt out everything you can remember about it. Concepts, formulas, definitions, whatever. It's a great way to force active recall, and it immediately shows you where the gaps in your knowledge are. It's basically like teaching, but to yourself.
And here's a fun little modern hack for you. Take your class notes and upload them to a tool like ChatGPT. Then, just ask it to act like a strict but brilliant teacher and create a quiz for you based on your own notes. It's a fantastic way to get an endless supply of fresh practice questions.
All right, you did it. You put in the work. You're prepared. Now it's game day. So how do you make sure you show up and perform at your absolute best? Here's your simple playbook. Honestly, it all comes down to 3 super simple things. First, and this is the most important, just chill out. You have done the work. Be confident. Second, eat light and clean. You don't want to feel sluggish. And third, relax your brain. The time for cramming is over. Let your mind be calm and ready to go.
So what does that actually look like? Well, do listen to some calming music on your way to the exam. Do try to get some natural sunlight. It's a massive underrated energy booster. And on the flip side, don't eat a huge heavy meal right before. And please try to avoid super processed junk food. Keep it clean and you'll stay sharp.
And I want to leave you with this final thought as you're walking into that exam room. Remember this: action cures fear. All of that practice, all of that active recall, that's your proof. If you've put in the work using this system, you have absolutely every reason in the world to be confident. You're good.
So after all of that, there's only one question left. You've got the science, you've got the system, you've got the playbook. The only thing left to do is put it into action. So, are you ready?